Hello everyone, Vampire218 here bringing you another draft Pokemon Spotlight video. Today I've chosen to look at Shuckle. Now I know what you may be thinking just from the stats alone. It's got 20 in HP and that's horrible. It's got a 10 and special attack and attack, a 5 in speed. This is horrible. This thing is not going to be hitting anything anytime soon for any amount of damage that's above 1. Now, what it lacks in these stats, it makes up for in defense and special defense, having the highest special defense of any mon, and tying with Mega Aggron for the highest defense of any mon. Its typing is Bug Rock, which means that it resists poison and normal, and is weak to rock, steel, and water. Now this is pretty good. We have only 3 weaknesses, although 2 of them are pretty common, and one of them is to the hazards. That's not the worst thing in the world. The sets I will be showing you are going to be using Shuckle as a lead, so we're not too afraid of the rocks unless we get roared out. Its 3 abilities are Contrary, which inverts stat drops and raises, Gluttony, which means that we eat our berries at 50% instead of 25%, and Sturdy, which means any move that would kill us from full health brings us to 1 health instead, unless it's a multi-hit move or something weird like that. Now, looking at the moves, the reason Shuckle is run is because it can learn both Stealth Rock and Sticky Web. This is huge because it can not only lay down a damage-dealing hazard, it can lay down the speed-reducing one too, and this is very good. Now, we're not going to focus too much on the offensive moves because the sets that I'm going to be using do not use these. I mean, there is a way to do it through Power Trick, but I don't think that Power Trick is too reliable in the league. With the amount of priority that can get brought and stuff, it's just not as reliable. So we're going to be focusing on utility here. So another move that is utility here is Knockoff. I mean, it can learn it. You're not going for damage. We're going to get rid of their item. But Infestation here. This is huge because Shuckle can learn Infestation, Sand Tome, and what you can't see there is Wrap, which is 3 of the trapping moves. And this is mainly how Shuckle is going to be doing damage in the sets I'm showing you. It's going to be using Infestation because there are no mons that are, immune to bug, whereas flying types are immune to ground, so that means our Sand Tome won't hit them, and ghost types are immune to normal, which means our Wrap won't hit them, whereas Infestation is not only stab, but hits everything. So we're going to be using Infestation. Now, I'm going to jump right into the sets here because, there are quite a good amount of things that we have here. I mean, we have Defense Curl, but, we just don't need it. We're not going for damage here, and that's only used if you combined it with the Rollout set from Massive Damage, but we don't do that. Guard Split, again, we're not doing that. We're going for a lead that can do some good stuff. Now, the 2 sets I'm bringing here are this one. We're always going to be maxing our health. We want to be maxing a defensive stat as well. Now this can be defense or special defense. It all depends on what they are bringing and what we're anticipating. If we know they have an overwhelming physical threats, we bring defense and health. If we know they have overwhelming special defense, special attack, we bring special defense. Now, I like running the Rocky Helmet with Sturdy here because usually they're going to lead with something traditional to lead with. Something that wants to set up hazards, this, that, and the other thing. So, I'm thinking of a couple leads here. Maybe Sableye into Mega Sableye, Galvantula, and that's where our set is really going to take off. So, we have Infestation, which are going to be our lead move most of the time. Now, the reason is, if they are leading something if they have a Magic Bouncer on their team, we don't want to risk throwing out our rocks, throwing out our webs, and having the Magic bounced. The same thing with Magic Coat. We don't want those things bounced back to us. Now, and the same thing with taunt. We don't want to go for our rocks or our webs and have them taunt, because they're going to outspeed us, because our speed is 46. I mean, at level 100 with no investments, but realistically our speed is 5. So we don't want to get taunted here. We're going to be leading with Infestation, and then this will let us see if they're a taunt user, if they have the taunt, because there would be no reason for, I mean, there are reasons, but there would be very little reason for them to not go for taunt the first turn, because they know they'll outspeed us, and they're going to assume that we are going for the rocks or the webs, and they want to prevent that, usually forcing us into a switch. But we're not doing that. We're going for Infestation, so we're going to trap them, and we only do this if it's a favorable matchup for us. If they're bringing a huge, bulky, hard-hitting water type or a steel type, we're not doing this. We're switching Shuckle out into something that can deal with that. So we're leaving Infestation in a favorable matchup, because now they're trapped. They're taking a 16th of their health each turn. And because it's a favorable matchup for us, they can't just kill us, because they won't have the damage. Now, this lets us freely set up rocks and webs. Now, they are at this point down quite a bit of health, unless have leftovers or whatever, and in that situation, we reevaluate what we're doing. If they have been trying to hit us with physical moves, Rocky Helmet has been bouncing back, I believe, an 1/8 of their health each turn. So you got to remember that. This set is very stally. It's not going to get the kills on its own. It wants to set up the hazards, trap your opponent in, and then rest away all that health until either Infestation kills them, or if they for some reason are recovering their health, you know, let them. Infestation has more PP than any of the healing moves, even Rest, which only has 16. So unless they were packing double healing, we're set. But also remember, Infestation has 32 PP, but every one time we use it, that represents 4 to 5 turns of 1/16 of their health. And I do believe at the end of that, I will take a look, because I believe at the end of that, they take an 1/8, but I'm not sure. That might just be for some of the other trapping moves. I'm not sure if it's... it doesn't say there, so I can't confirm or deny that. Either way, this set is a stalling lead that gets rid of a threat on their team. The next one is a very similar set, but instead of Rest, we're using Knockoff. And this is because, again, without Rest, we don't have any way of healing, but we don't always need it. I mean, we lead out with an Infestation to trap them, if it's favorable. If they, for whatever reason, switched out into their not their Mega, great. We still would have Sturdy active. We would have trapped the new Mon, and we could knock off their item and then get a free switch being at 1 health. I mean, that's an okay trade for me, I would think. Crippling their best Mon to, you know, get Shuckle out of the question. I mean, it's not the best move, but it's an okay one. Because remember, Shuckle here isn't going to be picking up kills. Shuckle is usually our lead, so we gotta, you know, think about that. I'm a Vampire218 here, bringing you my draft Pokemon Spotlight on the Pokemon Shuckle. If you like the video and you want to see more Pokemon Draft League content, please leave a like, comment, share, favorite, and subscribe. Bye!